What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Fish the Moment. Today I'm headed out on Beaver Lake in Arkansas. It's the end of April, and the fish were either spawning or getting ready to spawn right before this trip, until the lake came up several feet in a couple of days. This muddy, rising water is going to throw a wrench in my plans, so let's try to figure out the best way to put fish in the boat in these tough conditions.
Got him. Oh my gosh. Okay, not a big one. We are kind of in a pickle right here, guys. Oh no. Get out of there, fish. Oh, there we go. We are in a big pickle right here, guys. Oh, trying to find some fish that are setting up in this flooded water, and we are way back in some trees around some riprap. Got that fish on a tube. Not a big one, but just a nice little fish. And I'm trying to get a casting angle on this riprap that's back here that is normally out of the water in the winter, but has water on it right now because the lake on Beaver here is 8 feet high. And got that fish, barely got him over all those trees, and was just dragging a black neon flipping tube. Little rattle inside. It's a great spawning bait. Super dirty water, but maybe we're gonna get on a few fish back in this little deal. I literally am stuck in these bushes though right now. I can't go anywhere. Nice, I got that fish on a 4.5-inch black neon flipping tube. This is a Strike King Pro Model flipping tube, 1/4 ounce tungsten weight pegged, and I have a rattle inside there with a 5/0 EWG hook from Gamakatsu. And basically, back in here, we have this stretch of riprap, and there's this cleared out area, and the rest of this is all flooded bushes. You can see all around me, it's absolutely ridiculous how much debris and how flooded it is here. But whenever it gets super flooded like this, what I like to do is try to find areas where you can get access to the bank in some way. And that's what this spot is right here. There's some riprap that just kind of sticks out here. I'll show you on Google Earth what it looks like when it's not flooded like this. And the idea I was having is that these fish, if they're going to be spawning, would want to set up around some hard bottom in a protected area with potentially a little bit clearer water. And I think you kind of have all three of those things in this little pocket. It's just slightly clearer water than the rest of the deal. There's that hard bottom from the riprap. It's the perfect little spot. That was just a little male bass, but he came kind of further off the bank. So right now what I'm trying to do is just throw this tube out there and drag it through those rocks. Because I think these fish, since it's pretty flat here, could be spawning anywhere from basically where the rocks are up there on the shore, all the way to where you can see there's kind of a gap in all the debris all the way up to this bush line. So I'm just working through here super slow. Just a small male bass to get started, but maybe it'll give us a hint at a pattern here we can run. Got him. There we go. Another little male here. Not a bad fish though for beaver. On the flipping tube. There we go. Made my way up the lake, or actually down the lake a little bit, and was trying to find some fish further back in these creeks, and I wanted to stop on a nice rock transition I saw here. Fish that tube down the rock transition. I can get to the bank. It's not super flooded, and that fish was right on that transition, right where he should be. Beautiful fish. Love cracking him on the tube. And that fish was right on this rock transition. This rock transition actually is normally not as good normally when the lake is lower, but with the lake up, it is at the perfect depth for these fish to be setting up on. And the reason I wanted to fish this transition is because it gives me a chance to fish a little bit deeper where we have some sharper slopes, steeper banks, and then fish into a flatter section. And that fish was right on that transition between the steep section and the flat section. Exactly where he should be, especially on this little bit colder day. Water temperatures probably dropped a few degrees just because we have like 50-degree air temps today when it was 70 the last few days. And it also is a strong north wind, so not the best fishing conditions today by any means, but we are getting some fish in the boat, kind of grinding it out here. And I think now that I've caught a fish doing this, I should be able to start replicating this pattern pretty easily because there are a lot of these rock transitions in the back half of these creeks on Beaver. Got him. Oh, come on. Get out of there, fish. There he is. Not a big one, but another fish here on a rock transition spot. Golly, he was hung up in that tree for a second. Got this one on a jig. That's a nice beaver bass right there. I literally just missed one on another rock transition, the first one I decided to fish. Came over here to a second one, got another fish in the boat. That's a solid beaver keeper too. 15-incher, 2-pounder, those are gold on beaver, to be honest, guys. I know it doesn't seem that impressive, but it is a good fish out here, especially in these post-front, north wind, bluebird sky conditions, no clouds in the sky. And that fish was actually just right here out of this little stick up right here on a rock transition bank in a little brush deal. So not too bad. We're kind of getting the pattern established now. Not exactly what I was wanting to be doing today, to be honest. I thought with all the water being up and everything, I was gonna be able to catch them out of bushes and maybe on a frog and all kinds of stuff. And I'm thinking that within the next week, if the water temperatures warm up a little bit more and the air temperatures stay a little bit warmer consistently, we should be able to get a lot of those bites going. But I think with these couple of cold days we've had the last few days, the fish just haven't fully made it all the way up to the bushes yet. Oh, golly, did you guys see that? That's the same thing that happened before. My spinnerbait, that was a 2.5-pounder. Spinnerbait was coming over the top of this dock trellis thing here. Here he is. Oh no, he came off. Golly, 2 in a row. Oh, my line is shredded right there. I don't know if it's the same fish or what. I couldn't do anything because my line was over the top of this thing. Oh man. Golly, guys, I missed 2 there on back-to-back casts. I could have definitely skipped that bait underneath that deal too. I was just trying to fish over the back corner and I just didn't make that specific cast and it cost me a fish. I don't know if it's the same fish or a different one. And I got that fish to bite a spinnerbait here. This isn't our Picasso bait. If you couldn't tell, they sent me a bunch of baits to try out. Matt Steffen's always talking about him, and so they were nice to send me a few baits. This is one of their spinnerbaits that actually has a free swinging head. Really interesting design. Matt's talked about it in his channel before. And this has a little orange kicker, and it is just perfect for these water conditions. I like this little smaller blade profile 1/2-ounce spinnerbait with this little bit different blade combination than maybe what other guys are throwing. And I definitely have a pattern going now, guys. It's the exact same deal, another rock transition bank. This time, you know, another boat dock. I feel like I can get bit both on boat docks and laydowns. And I just need to figure out how to get these fish behind these docks to actually commit to the bait, because I've missed now one, again, swimming a tube back in the exact same scenario on another one of these little walkway struts that's going into the water here. So these fish are, I think, setting up on these, like this metal piece that's going into the water here. I don't know exactly what you would call that, but that's what both the fish came off of. And I think I can now just run this. I don't know if every single dock is gonna have a fish on it or if it's gonna be just on these rock transitions. So I need to start experimenting with a few different types of docks just to see. But I also just need to get these fish in the boat, because now at this point, that's 2.5+ pounders that I've missed behind these boat docks. So I'd be having a pretty solid day if I just got those fish in the boat. And this pattern's now starting to come together finally after about 4 hours of fishing. Got a nice one. Exact same spot now. This pattern is crazy consistent, guys. Not a big one, just another fish, but that's literally the next little walkway deal right here behind the boat dock, or not a walkway, but a little, these connector struts. I don't know what you want to call them. Got a backlash on the last cast, give me a second. There we go, but basically they're these metal rods. They're connecting the boat dock to the bank. And another one off the exact same deal. Golly, this is never spotted bass, but there's so many on these things, guys. This pattern is gonna get crazy if they're on every single boat dock. I can't believe I caught 2 there. I mean, I had 2 bites on that last one too. So these fish are just stacked up on these things. This is wild. I don't think I've ever, another one. I don't think I've ever seen it like this before, guys, where you can just sit on one dock thing and just catch them cast after cast. I mean, this is crazy. Another nice spotted bass. It's literally every cast on this deal. What in the world is happening right now? Why are there so many of them right here? Unfortunately, I just backwashed that with my trolling motor, but that is crazy. 3 fish on 3 casts off the same back corner of this dock. I mean, how many of them are there down there? That is wild. Interesting. So nothing on the support beam on this side of the dock, but on the other side, the windblown side, I mean, they were stacked right there. And on the other couple docks too, it was the windblown side with the little support beam. So we basically need to be focused on hitting these docks that have the wind blowing in those support beams. There's a couple there over here. These docks behind me here are a little bit more protected, and I want to just see if maybe they also work, but if not, then I might run back into this creek a little bit because I missed a couple docks on the way in. Got him. Good fish right here. I'm just working between the docks now. They're just eating the spinnerbait, guys, today. Holy cow. This is crazy. That is a solid beaver fish too. Good 2.5 pounder. Let me weigh that guy. He was just on this point, literally just fishing down the bank, guys. At this point, I think the bite's just turning on. Yeah, 2 pounds, 10 ounces. That is a nice beaver fish right there. Missed 2 more like this as well already, so we are on a good pattern. Let's keep after it though. There we go. Nothing real special about this right here. It's just a secondary point in between these 2 boat docks, and that fish was just in this little kind of flooded, brushy stuff. It's nice to be able to catch them on a spinnerbait because you can really cover water quickly with a spinnerbait compared to the jig I was fishing earlier. And that wind finally picked up and stopped blowing out of the north. It's now blowing out of the west. And that westward wind is probably going to get these fish potentially to bite a little bit better than that north wind. And I don't know, I'm just loving this spinnerbait bite. I've had more bites in the last 20 minutes than I have all day. Maybe it's the creek, maybe it's the conditions, I'm not 100% sure, but let's just keep rolling. I'm also really liking the spinnerbait. It's a titanium spinnerbait, so it bends a lot, and I really like titanium spinnerbaits in general, but I always find that they kind of get too twisted up, especially when it's a fixed spinnerbait. But I've been told with this one, just because it has that free swinging head and the titanium wire, it holds up even better, and it's just a sweet little spinnerbait. I can skip it around really well, and it has a little bit different action with that bait because it has a free swinging head when you add a swim bait on the back. So I'm adding the swim bait trailer just to give that bait a little bit of a different kick in the water. It just has a lot more movement to it than the standard spinnerbait. Oh, good one off this back dock strut again, guys. Nice one. Literally every single one has a fish on it. This is unbelievable how easy this pattern is right now, guys. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. He choked that spinnerbait too. It's every single one, guys. This is wild. I mean, it's right there off that same deal. Every stinking one of them has a fish on it right now. 2 pounds, 6 ounces, another almost 2.5 pounder right there. Beautiful fish on the spinnerbait. It's crazy though, they're actually only on one side of the dock for whatever reason. Every single one of them, I can get bit on one of these little support struts, but not both. Very weird, but let's keep rolling. I don't actually see one on this next dock, which is kind of a bummer. We may have to keep hunting for them because maybe not every single one of these docks has one of these support beams to them. Got him. Oh, he smacked that. It's working between these docks. Another spotted bass here. Nothing crazy, but just a little log that got knocked over when this lake came up, and there was a fish sitting right on the side of it. He hit my spinnerbait once, missed it. He came back for it. Fish are getting aggressive right now, guys. This is crazy. Got him. Duck. Support beam, just a little guy. But I mean, every single one, guys, has a fish on it. It is absolutely crazy. I barely felt that fish eat it because he was so tiny, but another fish on the same exact deal. One of these little support beams. Got another one. Oh, he got me over the cable. Come on, fish. Come on over here. Let's see if I can get this figured out. Fortunately, it's not a real big one. Here we go, a nice little fish right there. That's actually a really nice spotted bass on that cable or off that beam. Beautiful fish. Another 2 fish off of one of these deals. I'm just gonna stay right here, fire like this. So I came back to the creek where I caught all those fish on the spinnerbait and didn't get any more bites. The only docks I had left to fish were actually further back in the creek, so I think that the majority of the fish were just kind of in this mid-section of the creek here, and there was also a pretty good wind at the time, so maybe there's a little feeding window going on at that same time. But either way, I'm not complaining. I crushed them on this little spinnerbait here. This is the 1/2 ounce Picasso titanium wire swinging spinnerbait. I'll link it down in the description below. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it has this kicker orange blade on it and it is an awesome little spinnerbait. I was skipping it around boat docks super easily just with a Big Bite Baits 4.8 swimmer on the back. This Pro swimmer has a little bit thinner profile and harder plastic than the Kitech, and so I find that it works better as a spinnerbait trailer than a standard Kitech, and they're also a little bit less expensive. So that's my go-to spinnerbait trailer. No trailer hook today on this deal. I sometimes throw a trailer hook, but because I was fishing around so much wood and also all the cables on the docks, I didn't want to have the trailer hook on there, and it didn't affect me that much. I may have missed a couple of smaller spotted bass, but nothing crazy. All the better quality fish choke this bait. And again, this bait just skips super well. It also gives the spinnerbait more vibration in the body because that wire is, or the attachment point is free swinging, and so with a paddle tail, which is what I recommend on this, it has a crazy action to it, more than a regular spinnerbait. So pretty sweet little deal there. I'm just pairing that on the Denali Lithium Pro 6'10", medium heavy power, fast action spinnerbait rod. This is my favorite spinnerbait rod from Denali, and it works great when you're skipping the spinnerbaits around shallow cover, trying to get underneath and in and around tight places. It's a little bit shorter rod, but has enough backbone to pull those fish out of cover. I'm just pairing that up with some Berkley big game. This is monofilament, 20-pound mono, nothing fancy. When I'm fishing a spinnerbait, I don't feel like I need fluorocarbon. Big game gets the job done. And I throw big game quite a bit with my shallow techniques like spinnerbaits and crankbaits and stuff like that, because again, the water has like 6 inches visibility, so fluorocarbon does not matter. And I'm just pairing that with a Abu Garcia Black Max reel that I bought, I think at this point 6 years ago, for like 30 bucks. I just saw that the Black Maxes now are like $60, which is crazy because I used to buy these literally for like 29 bucks at Walmart. But anyways, mine are still kicking, so we're gonna keep rolling with them. And I did want to call out that you can actually get a discount on Denali rods. I'll link it down in the description. It's a 30% discount at denalifishing.com. And if you use my promo code down in the description, you'll get 30% off all of your denalifishing.com orders. So pick up one of these Lithium Pro rods or some of the other rods I talk about, because it's a really, really great deal on that. I caught a few fish on a couple other baits. I was throwing this like little Picasso jig and a tube. I think I have it right here. This tube kind of got messed up and then I haven't re-rigged it, but it's just that Denny Brower 4.5-inch black neon tube. So I was throwing a few different baits today, but honestly that spinnerbait was the best deal going. And if I had to come back out tomorrow, I probably would just stick that spinnerbait in my hand most of the day, because if you can get them to eat the spinnerbait, you can cover so much more water. And the fishing was kind of weird today because I felt like these fish should be spawning, or they should be at least getting close to spawning. It's been pretty warm for the past week, but we've had this cold front for 2 days, and these fish that are up in those shallow areas just were not reacting. So I had to go to more main drag areas with the rock transitions, the boat docks, stuff like that. Kind of felt like I was fishing in March or late February instead of April, but either way, we're able to put some fish in the boat, and hopefully this video helped you maybe learn how I audible in situations and fish the moment so that you can do the same when you get to the lake. Thanks again for checking out this video. We'll see you on the next one.